Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a knife video for you, and today I've got my first impressions video on this knife. This is the NUK from Liong Mah Design and Battle Box. Now, I'm a little late to this party. This knife sat in customs for over 2 weeks, so it was really a wait, and they didn't investigate. Like, it wasn't that they were, examining it or anything like that. The box was totally unopened. It just sat in a pile of mail waiting to be processed. So that was a little disappointing, and now that I'm bringing this to you a little late, but nonetheless, here it is. So this is my first impression on the Liong Mah designed NUK. Here's how it comes. Nice little magnetized box. Inside there's a card, Liong Mah. I'm pretty sure this is all public information anyway, so I can show it to you, and a patch as well. I will put that patch on my bag. And here is the knife itself. It's a stainless steel frame lock with some interesting stuff going on, and let's go ahead and talk about that now. Well, actually, hold on. Before we do, let me get that out of the way and this out of the way. Oh, shoot. And sorry about this, guys. I'm going to try to get the little light out that comes with this. And it's really awkward. Hold on, I'm going to need a tool. Here's one use for a pry tool. I'll put this on camera. Wow. Okay, there we go. The light is extricated from the box that it ships with. So it does ship with this little light, which is a UV light meant for recharging one of the cool things about this knife, which is the moon glow. Let's get that thing open. So, very quickly, I'll give you sort of the rundown on the features of the knife and my initial thoughts on some of those things, and then we'll give you size and weight and sort of my overall impression, the way we normally do these first impressions videos. I do think it's kind of a neat touch that they include this light for charging, and I will, when I do the full review, get this in darkness and take a few minutes of video while the moon glow can show up really well on camera. Not going to bother with that for a first impressions video though. So let's go ahead and take a look. There is the blade, really kind of cool modified tanto blade, hollow grind here and a flat grind out here at the tip, nice swedge on top. And I contacted Liong Mah about the blade coating, and he indicated that it was DLC. Now, this is not like any DLC that I have seen before, so maybe he misunderstood the question, or I may have more to say about that in the full review. But Liong Mah indicated that it's DLC, so I'm going to take him at his word and just say this is one that I'm not familiar with, or this is a way of finishing DLC, I guess, that I'm not very familiar with. You can see the maker's mark there, or the logo for Liong Mah Design there. And on the other side, you've got the name of the knife. Really nice finger choil here, nice spot for your thumb. The jimping is pretty much useless. It doesn't hold my thumb at all in any way. Now, I will say I really like the shape of this blade. It's kind of an intricate, detailed, nice looking blade. The only complaint I have, and probably most of you guys can call this out before I say it, I'm not a fan of the black. I wish this were a satin finish blade, especially with the interesting different grinds happening here, right? When you've got, the hollow and the flat grind and the swedge on top, all of those really interesting details would make this in satin look really, really cool. Okay, so that's the blade, D2 steel, which is not stainless. However, the coating is going to kind of remedy that for you. So there is a bright side to that black coating being on there, and that is you're not going to have the same kind of potential issues you could have with corrosion. We do have a stainless steel frame lock as indicated, and a flipper. The flipper is actually quite comfortable, and by the way, you can see the steel. Let's see if I can show you. Focus, there we go. You can see D2 steel is there on the flipper. It is a bearing pivot and a fairly decent one. Out of box, the action is adequate. It's not the most amazing knife I've ever felt, but that's one of those things that could be totally different in a few days time after I've had time to flip this, however many dozen times that I'll flip it in a given day. So not really broken in yet, so I'm not going to say too much about the smoothness, but I'll have updates on that when we get to the full review. If you take a look there at the pivot screw, it is that really cool sort of NUK symbol with the moon glow behind it. And I've got to say, that is a really nice touch. Moving down the rest of the handle, there are some other things that I'm pretty impressed with. I love the flush screws here. I love the little insert allowing for the lock bar to be switched. And even on the side with the hardware, The non-show side, these are nice and flush and really, really well done. So fit and finish, I've got to say, is pretty impressive on this knife. It is an overseas produced knife, a Chinese produced knife. And again, I asked Liong Mah about that, and he indicated that was that it was a Chinese factory that BattleBox was very familiar with and used to working with. Inside, you can see all that moon glow backspacer, moon glow inserts. And when I do the full review, I'll make sure that I get you some good shots of that fully charged and glowing, because I do think that'll look pretty cool. Pocket clip is really nicely done. I did drop this in and out of pocket a couple times when I first got it out of the box, and I've got to say it seemed to work really, really well. Obviously, first impressions, it's hard to say a lot about that because it's not really, you know, until you've tried it with a few different pairs of pants and stuff like that, it's hard to say anything definitive. Finally, a quick comment about ergos, and that is it feels really, really good in hand. Again, you know, maybe that'll change over a few weeks' time where I find some terrible hot spot, but at this point, I'm pretty happy with it. Let's go ahead and get a size and weight now. All right, so there's the good old ruler. Not sure where this thing came from, but it's been lying around my office for a long time, so that's what we go with. Okay, overall length is going to be just a hair over 8¼ inches there. Try to show you that. See how it's just about 5/16. Blade length is, again, just a hair over 3½ inches. Hope you can see that there, about 3 9/16. Finally, the handle length is going to be 4 and almost right on 4 3/4 inches. Okay, and the weight. Now this is a stainless steel frame lock, so we can expect it to be a little hefty. Here's the handy dandy scale. Give that a second. All right. Oh, wow. 6.2 ounces. So very heavy little knife at 8¼ inches, 6.2 ounces is pretty heavy. Now, obviously, you know, we've had this discussion many times. A stainless steel frame lock is absolutely going to be a lot heavier than the titanium counterpart. Sorry. Remember though, in addition to the steel, instead of, you know, you've milled out this steel really well to make room for those moon glow liners, but by adding the moon glow liners, now you have kind of reintroduced some of the weight you may have saved by milling out the knife internally. So I guess it's kind of a trade-off, and one that, you know, is kind of an unwinnable, like how would you pull that off any other way, right? So I can't complain too much about weight. I don't know how they could have lightened it without changing something fundamental about the knife itself. So there you go, guys. That's my discussion, or my initial rundown on this knife. Let me give you sort of my overall thoughts, okay? I think this is a well done knife. My initial impression is that the quality on this is very good, and it definitely satisfies that side of me that appreciates interesting knives that are doing something different and that are built to a pretty high degree of quality. You guys know I like all that stuff, and so certainly this appeals to that side of me. Now, the practical side of me does say this is pretty heavy for its size and probably going to be a little unruly to carry on a regular basis, but that will reveal itself as we go along before as I'm getting ready for the full review. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss the full review. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this knife. Do you think the extra weight is worth the trade-off to get that moon glow interior, or is the moon glow just a total, you know, gimmick that you have no interest in at all? Hope to hear your comments down below, and we will talk to you soon.